This thing right here, this one of one serialized card, this golden ticket, rare, extraordinary, exciting promotion. I get why they did it. I get it, but it's all right. Let's take a first look at Lord of the Rings: Tales of Middle Earth, the crossover with Magic the Gathering. So let's just get the basics out of the way. Here's the symbols. It's coming out June 23rd this year. Looks like we're gonna have this starter kit. Looks like 2 decks to play with your friends. Jumpstart. I'm gonna be interested to see what the 5 unique cards are inside of the Jumpstart. Pre-release, that'll be fun. The new function that's already inside of this set has me interested, but I don't know how it's gonna play out just yet. Standard draft boosters, standard set boosters. Looks like a 12-pack collector. We have the regular bundle, and we also have a gift bundle this time, but that's like a delayed release. I think that's not releasing until later. Yeah, so that's not releasing until November. Let's take a look at prices while we're here, because Magic's pricing has been a little on the high side. Let's be real. Draft 190-ish. I'm expecting that honestly to probably go up closer to release. Set boosters 205. The full pack is 440, but they have these on sale right now. It looks like for 16% off. So what? Mental math. 12 of those for 31, 35. Probably like what, 380-ish. So you honestly probably save like $60 just ordering these singles. But they do have box toppers now, so keep that in mind. You won't get a box topper, but you save $60. Is a box topper worth it to you? Because you probably buy the box topper that you want for less than $60. Jumpstart 115, 120, somewhere in there, and then bundle about $50. Kind of sad. Those used to be like $40 and pretty good for what they were. And nothing on the gift edition yet. Deck pricing about $50, kind of standard. It's not horrible, not horrible. Don't even want to take a look at Commander Masters because that stuff's ridiculous. All right, let's take a look at the first looks for some of these cards. I am saving the One Ring for last because, the situation. I have a controversial thought on the situation, I guess. Frodo looks like it's pretty much a 1/2 that you can ramp into a 2/3 with lifelink, and then you can give it save or end the game situation pretty much if it hits the player. If you have 4 temps on yourself, then you can pretty much end the game. He wins it for you. Assuming he's unblockable, stuff like that. Sam looks like he flashes in. He can save a creature that you might have lost his turn, so you can keep on the battlefield, prevent, graveyard loss, stuff like that. Golem 3/1 looks like he's just aggro, swamp aggro. He gives you a tempt. You can sack a creature to return him, so he's just constantly coming back, being on the annoying side. Nothing crazy. I was really thinking that this ring tempts you was going to be a little bit more detrimental to yourself, and so far it's leading to me to think that it might be more detrimental to your opponent than yourself, but it's still too early to tell. There could be other cards that do other mechanics against yourself that we just haven't seen yet. Moving to Mount Doom, it's pretty much a board wipe. Like, the primary reason you're going to use this legendary land is for the 7-drop sack board wipe. Maybe the mana. I mean, the mana is good too. You can't deny pay 1 for black or red. Comes in untapped. Commanders love it, but I think the primary use is going to be for that 7-drop board wipe, obviously. Moving on to Gandalf the Grey. He's an Izzet card. Pretty much, he comes in, you cast a bunch of sorceries, you pick from one of the 4 there, and then the last one obviously going to put him back on the top. and then draw him, and then recast him, and do the next 3 things again. Because once he leaves the battlefield and all of that, he becomes a new creature in the game. So that all starts all over. You cannot pass. I'm very sad that it's not you shall not pass. I understand the fact that it says you cannot pass in the book, but anytime I think Lord of the Rings, I hear you shall not pass. Kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sad. But destroy target creature that blocked or was blocked by a legendary creature. It's a 1-drop. It's pretty powerful for a 1-drop. It does specify legendary though. So in Commander is a little bit more powerful because a lot of creatures are legendaries in Commander. Since we only have 1, there's no point in not using legendaries. Reprieve. When I first read this card, I thought it was just a white unsummon. But it's target spell, not creature, for 2, and you draw a card off of that. That's pretty good for a 2-drop. Unlike unsummon, because like what? Unsummon is a 1 and scry, if I remember, something like that. 1 blue and scry. So that's a lot stronger than I initially thought that card was, and I'm pretty pumped about getting that. I would probably put that in a lot of my white decks. All of them, actually, honestly. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about the card. It's pretty strong for an uncommon, too. And then Tom, the guy that nobody was expecting to be in there, and is the Saga commander of the set. He is going to be extremely popular. I mean, he is what this guy's alternative, Life's Origins alternative for shrines. Just like some cards off the top of my head, like extremely popular cards for this guy are probably going to be like what? Urza Saga, Lithoform Engine, something like that. Displacer Kitten, and Satsuki, living something. Those cards, they'll be right here, obviously. Future me will correct myself. Those cards are going to work very well with this guy, and he is going to be extremely overplayed on initial release. Full stop. He's going to be everywhere. We're skipping the One Ring for right now. We can go over. We're saving it for last. I'm going to stick to what I said. The party tree. All I see is green-red ramp when I look at this card. Tap 2, green, and you gain 2 life. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it gets +1/+1 counter, and you draw a card. I'm not too worried about the cost X less, because like all you need is like what, a ball of lightning or something like that. I think it's like a 6/1. And then all of a sudden this is a 3 cost card. You can make that up really quickly. Green red, that's all I see. There's far more creative people out there than me, but that's all I see right now. Bridge Guy is kind of the opposite of this card, and it's just a nope card. A little bit of protection, no attacking, just stay in your lane. I got no cards in my hand. Goodbye. Valley here is just small destruction, right? Non-basic destruction. Cool. Probably a niche card. It looks cool. I like the art. Another thing to say is that these are the relic box toppers, and there's going to be 30 of them. Anywhere from borderless mythic rares or artifacts, mythic rare lands and artifacts, throughout the entire set code. So there's 30 different ones. These are 3 of them. We'll see what the other ones are. This guy I'm really excited for. Lauren Brooch. Equipped creature has non-basic land walk. That just sounds fun. Like, so many commander decks have non-basic lands in it that this card, I just see this card popping off. Honestly, I'm excited for it. And then we just go. Oh no, we got a couple more. This human noble elf duo here. It just seems like a green-white tribal deck. I think that's where this would sit best. +1 counters whenever they attack. You gain 1 life for each creature you control. Green white tribal. Surge, tokens. That's kind of how I'm playing in my head right now. Lidless Eye enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature. It just seems like black-red aggro is what's going on here. Take control, attack with their own creature, give it back at the end of the turn, give it haste, and then you can pump it with the spell too. 3 creatures we control get +2/+0 until end of turn, and it does damage to the opponent. That's also pretty good for just 3 mana. So I have no complaints there. They're pretty cool, and they're featured in 2 60-card decks. So yeah. And we got some fancy art here. I did see on Twitter that somebody took all 4 of these and put them together, and it looks like it creates 1 image. So that's kind of cool that they created the scene off of 4 cards. Anything else? Oh yeah, Sam the Loyal Attendant, and I think it's pretty funny that they gave him food tokens in here. I think that's pretty good. And it costs 1 less to activate the food tokens. So it's 1 and sacrifice it, and you get 3 life for 1 mana. Why not? I think that's pretty fun and funny. Wizards of the Wilds, this guy right here is just beasts and birds. Like, you can't complain about beasts and birds with Ward. Just throw down a bunch of creatures, grow your tribe, and pop off. Here are the full art lands for this cycle that they released. Plains, looks like a plains. It's just mapped locations across the world. Then we get some serious full arts. I thoroughly enjoy these down here, the Tom and the Gandalf the Grey. I love this art. I like the full border. Love it. Kind of want to buy those cards. I might just pick those up instead of waiting and hoping that I crack it. I don't think we talked about the Shrine, but there's Mount Doom's full art. That might have been, or borderless full art for Mount Doom. That might have been on the top, I'm not sure. The Shrine is legendary creature. If you have one, it comes in untapped. Tap it for green, tap 2, you tap an untapped creature, and you create a food token. So more food. Which kind of plays into the story that they're traveling. You need the food in order to make it through the journey. Alright, the One Ring to rule them all. The card that I wanted to save for last. The best for last. Now, the card itself is absolutely spectacular. I have no issue with the card itself at all. I mean, it's indestructible, and when it enters from a cast, you get protection from everything until your next turn. It's not the next turn, it's your next turn. So it's just protected 24/7. As long as you keep popping it in and out, but you don't want to do that because you're only tapping it for 1 card at that point. You want to dig with this card. This is a card they're going to dig with. You're going to proliferate on it, probably. I see this in proliferation decks. I see this just in decks in general. It's a great card. And then you tap it and you draw as many cards as burden counters on it. You need a burden counter every single time you tap it. You lose a life for each burden counter in the beginning of your upkeep. That's the card. The card is great, and I'm thoroughly excited about it. This thing right here, this 1/1 serialized card, this golden ticket, rare, extraordinary, exciting promotion. I get why they did it. I get it, but it's dumb. It's honestly dumb. Like, no one in the wild is going to crack this card. Me, you, Joe down the block is not going to open this card. Who's going to open this card are these giant stores who crack hundreds of $1,000s worth of product for stock. The sheer odds are ever in their favor. The only chance that I see this card making it out into the general public is if it lands in a collector booster that goes inside of this gift bundle or whatever. This guy right here. This gift bundle edition, whatever it is. That probably $100. I'm gonna guess is a deck bundle or gift bundle. You know, it's what? It's still the set boosters plus a collector booster, which is like $30. So $80 to $100 is what I'm expecting those gift bundles to go for. So even then, it's pretty far stretched because most people aren't going to spend $80 to $100 for, you know, like a present unless it's like a special occasion. It's probably why they're dropping it closer to Christmas and later in the year. They're going for the profits. Anyway, this situation right here, what they did with the soul rings. If you would have told me that they created this situation with this ring, like, I know that they have different versions of the One Ring, like these right here, right? There's one in every box, blah blah blah, promo version art. If you would have looked at me and said, this is what we're doing with the One Ring instead of this one of one, and then maybe made this a little bit more rare, or each version rarer than they are. It's like, this isn't everything, that's in less, this is in less, that's in less. If you would have standardized it or tiered it and made like 300 of those, these ones of ones, one of one, that would have made way more sense to me. Because then the likelihood of them being out in actual people's hands, far more likely. It defeats the purpose of the One Ring to rule them all, but like, it's not like we're dealing with 10 people here, right? We're dealing with thousands of players. And stuff like this should kind of be, I think, spread around. I think this would draw more hype and more excitement, like, ooh, maybe I can get one of the 300 instead of the one of one, which, like I said, it's probably going to be in a card shop. It's going to be cracked by one of these giant stores, because they probably are going to crack $250,000 worth of product for stock. So, like, I don't know. That's my opinion. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you think I'm completely crazy and I've lost my mind, let me know in the comments section.